Soul Study is a community of soulful women, women that are on their own healing journey, bring your own perspectives, but also have so much in common where we'll dive into a specific, let's say, limiting belief or a fear, and then we are able to recognize that the same fear lies with so many of us, but in different perspectives, in different ways that we were brought up or the way your childhood is. So for me, this community is some place where not only am I able to connect with women that are going through the same journey, but also realizing that a single issue can be so different for so many of us, but we are going through it at the same time. So just a place to connect, and a place to evolve together with like-minded people. So before I joined Soul Study, I'd say that as I was going through my own spiritual journey, my family and friends have been very supportive, but it hasn't been the main topic of discussion where these are the things I want to talk about now. I want to talk about healing. I want to talk about personal development books and the way our mind works and all these things. But I don't have a community that wants to talk about those things 24/7 or as often as possible. So I wanted to find a community like that. And that was actually one of the things I wrote down in my manifestation journal, that I wanted to be connected with more women that are on this journey that I can feel more connected to soulfully. And so I was actually introduced by another Soul Study member. And she was like, you belong here, like you would love this, check them out, listen to, like, go to Steph's page, go to Soul Study's page. And then once I went to both Instagrams, like every single post resonated with me to some deep level. And I started to follow and I started to connect with you. So before joining this group, I didn't have this community where I feel so connected through the spiritual journey. First event that I joined was a soul journal for forgiveness. And it was in like the perfect timing. And I feel like everything happens in divine timing, but I was going through something personally and I needed to go through or even acknowledge the fact that there was so much I needed to forgive for myself and not just others. Because I went through most of my life where I felt like there was others to blame or other external people that I needed to forgive, but never took the time to recognize, well, there's a lot that I need to forgive for myself. And through that seminar, I was able to answer those journal prompts, but really shift the focus to me. And it was so powerful. I remember throughout the entire session, I didn't have my camera on because it was so emotional. But it was a good emotional where I was releasing a lot of things that I think I was holding on to and the heaviness that I was holding within. So that experience was amazing. It shed a different perspective and light onto my own life and to look internally. And then past that, every seminar that I've experienced, I was able to, like I mentioned earlier, connect with women and recognize how we were brought up in total different cultures, total different dynamics, but a lot of the things we experienced were the same, or we were able to relate on those. So that was amazing for me as well. And the most recent one where we had a soul seminar to actually look at our self-image was also super powerful, where I didn't realize, like, I never took the time to stare at myself. Even when you're doing your makeup or getting ready, like, you're not really focused or you're not really there in the now to really look at, like, okay, like, this is my being, like, who is this soul within this body? Or like, what are these eyes? What is the story behind these eyes? Or things like that. Like, so much came up during that seminar, which I was like, I've never done this before. Like, no matter how much I've looked at myself in whatever 20 plus years of my living, but I never took the time to really look at myself. So that was super powerful. And I think every seminar, every event, anything that we connect on through this community is very powerful for me. It always shifts me in a certain direction and always in a positive way. Definitely having people to grow with. So you know that it's not a journey alone. There's people that are going through it where people, you know, you can support each other through it, even if it's two different things. Like, I may be going through a phase where I need to release some fears, and that's something maybe you've already done or that you have some perspective on. And so you have people that are going through similar experiences, but they also can support you through your specific experience at that given moment, which I really value. I think this is for you if you're ready to evolve and continue evolving. I think this is something I always share with people. I don't think we ever reach a level in our life where it's like, that's it. You reach the highest level, you're good to go. You don't need any more healing. You don't need any more perspective or any more personal growth. I don't think that level is ever reached. So if you're ready for a community that's gonna continue being with you through this journey, no matter what comes up, you know, in your internal world, and to help you make these positive shifts, this is the community for you. You're gonna have those people, you're gonna have the women who are in this close-knit community and who are so ready to be vulnerable together. Like I think like I mentioned earlier, like even if though my family and my friends support me, there's so many moments where I guess I'm not as vulnerable as I can be because again, these are not the conversations they want to have every time they see me. Where here, it's like we're talking about these things every time we meet, and it's easy to be vulnerable. It's easy to just come out and be like, this is how I'm feeling. These are the emotions that are coming to surface. So to be able to do that in such a comfort, easy, like an easy way, I think this is like the best place to do it. So if you're ready to have a community like that, this is for you. So I think for me, okay, Steph is definitely somebody who's non-judgmental at all. You can be your most authentic, vulnerable version of you, despite what your culture is, what your upbringing is. Like I've heard so many people say things in these seminars where I feel like if they said it elsewhere, they'd be like, wow, like that's how you were raised, or oh my God, like is that what your parents did, or is that what your childhood is like? And none of that ever comes up in our seminars because Steph made this a place where you're able to do that freely. So I think that just shows like Steph is a soul that really is here to help women heal in the most vulnerable, like comfortable way they can. So it's a safe space, and I always feel safe around Steph. And I think she's always so open to not only hear your story, but also connect to it. Like I feel like every time we say something, you're like, oh yeah, like, you know, think like you really feel what we were saying. And then at the same time, also have a perspective of your own that can be related to that. So it makes it feel like you're not alone. Like even though I don't have the exact same story, I have something similar that can actually make you feel connected. So Steph just makes you feel comfortable, connected, and yeah, just it allows you to be your authentic self. So I think first and foremost, one thing I love about Soul Study is not just like you join a community and you randomly get like emails or you randomly will get invited to events. This is something that's truly like scheduled where you have several events to actually participate in every single month. So there's soul seminars. And I think the other thing I really like is that you always try to make it very, like, because we're all on different time zones, geographically, you try to make it as like you try to shift it around so that everybody could attend these events, right? So whether that's on a Saturday morning, so that more people can come in that are working Monday through Friday, or whether it's in an evening time where people can actually participate. I truly value that you're giving us a time zone where it's like, okay, you can actually participate in these events. And it's also replay. So you become a part of this community. Let's say for by any chance you can't participate, but you really you wanted to be there, you wanted to learn what it is that was being taught in that seminar, you have a replay by being a part of this community, so you can watch it later and consume all the valuable details. So along with the seminars, again, like I mentioned, the community, which is something that I don't think I can get elsewhere. Like this is a very valuable community to be a part of. So you have that, you have kind of like soul sisters, right? Like to be with you throughout this journey of healing, of inner growth, any type of support that you need. We have the online space where we get to connect even besides the seminars and the events that we have. So that's like an offline where any given time of the day, you want to share something, a different perspective or something that you want to connect on, you're able to communicate with everybody in the community there as well. So I think there's a lot of different ways to be connected in this community, which I value. It's not just like an email chain that comes out every week and you get some valuable information, which is awesome, but there's so much more to it here. So you get a lot to be a part of this community.